with Saurabh Shukla. Please remain seated. All right. Clearly, judging by the assorted laughter and applause, I assume that many of you like this film. And for watching this film, and nothing makes a filmmaker more happy than the laughters which come in a dark auditorium, where nobody is, nobody is compelled to laugh. But if you laugh, then that means it's a genuine moment. And I was so happy sitting here. Nothing can be better than this. Thank you.
Absolutely. And personally, of course, I like this story compared to a lot of the other films that we've seen. One of the things that appealed to me is the simplicity of the story. And I'm sure that a lot of the 42-year-olds here, sorry, let me rephrase that, 24-year-olds here can actually relate to that. Before turning it over to the audience, one of the things that I would like to ask you is about, since you wrote these characters and you envisioned these characters, especially the lead role, where did you find the motivation for these characters, especially Rajat's character?
I know where you are going. I know.
I knew you knew.
Well, there is one thing that all filmmakers, I think they tell their own stories. Whether it's their own personal story, it happened to them, or it is something which they have experienced. And that's how you know that ground, you know that, you know those characters, you know those stories. And I have always followed in my stories and in my films, whatever I have experienced in life, I've tried to put it there. Well, this story, actually it's based on a true story. I actually lost hair when I was 19. And I had a pen friend in Shimla. I won't reveal her name here. Okay. And I used to write her letters. And then one day, and we met when we were really young. I mean, I was like 13 or 14. That's the time I met. And then suddenly there was a gap of 10 years. And then I was 22 or 23 and I was going to meet her. And it was a very difficult moment for me to face her because I didn't know how to face her. Well, I went to meet her. Exactly the story is not like this. Yeah, I made that the starting point and then took it forward and just tried to explore it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, although that was not where I was going.
Okay.
But anyway. Okay. Now, the other question which I promised you, and then I'll turn it over to the audience, which I promised I will ask you is regarding the ending. To me, when I looked at the character had come to terms and kind of achieved closure, sort of earlier in the film, much before it ended, where you chose to end it. So can you kind of shed some light on why you chose to end it in this sort of way?
Well, I guess that, that there's always an organic end to a story, you know. So it was going there. I mean, if I tell you the full script, and if I tell you that, you know, there was this man who was for truth, and at the end I say that he loses, it's a bit of a disappointment. Though that can also happen. But then what is the point? That, you know, आजकल बोला जाता है कि that truth is of no use. So, but there was this story where it was leading that, you know, there's some kind of, and it's not a physical this thing, it's just an acceptance. It's the acceptance by the other character that, you know, I was going to lie, but I couldn't. So that makes the whole thing. Now, there can be many ways of doing it. Like, I'll tell you that there's another thing I'll share about this film, that this film is made twice. First, it was made on 16mm. We made it for a television channel. Then nothing was happening, so I bought this film and I went to another company and I said, please buy this film and blow it up and release it. So they requested me that, you know, can you reshoot the film on 35mm? So I did that. And initially I was quite skeptical about this whole thing. I was scared also because once the movie is made, will it be repeated again? But then my friend Rajat told me that when we do theater, don't we repeat shows? So why can't we repeat a film? And that's exactly what happened, and it has come out a little better than what it was in 16mm. And the ending of both the films are slightly different. That was a little more realistic ending, in which he's sitting in front of a computer and he gets this video message where she shares and she says that, I am sorry that I could not invite you because there were so many things happening, I just forgot and I didn't have your number. But I want to share this, that I won the crown. And why did I win the crown? Because of what I told them. It was a little more realistic, but then because we were mounting the film on a slightly bigger platform, and it is for a market which is existing there. So, well, we made it slightly more visual, that's it.
Absolutely. And at this point, I mean, I have a million questions, but we've chatted a lot about this film. So I'd like to open it up to the audience and see what you have to ask of.
Where did you get this other guy? He's fabulous.
Ranveer Shori. Ranveer Shori is a fabulous actor.
He's a fantastic actor.
Acted in many, many films. And he was there in Mithya. He did Rajat Kapoor's Mithya. He was the protagonist there. He's a fabulous actor, and we all are friends. We all know each other. Ranveer, Rajat, myself, Vinay, Neha. We are all very closely knit friends also because we like each other's work, and that's how we end up doing films together. So, really because I'm an actor. And my focus when I make films, there are many, many ways of making films. Like people say that for some people, film is a visual medium. They talk through their camera. I also try and talk through my camera, but I'm heavily dependent on performances. Because also, all my films, the whole body of my work, if you will see, it is actually, I'm interested in people. I like their shortcomings, I like their joys, I like the way they lie, or they're very honest at times. So these are the things which really fascinate me. And because they are very character-based films, and also because I'm a writer, and my writing is much more influenced from drama, which has more power of words rather than the power of visuals. So that's why you will see that my films are quite verbose. They have many, many dialogues, dialogues after dialogues after dialogues. But that's the way I know movies, and that's the way I like movies. It's not that I don't like films which have lesser dialogues or economy of dialogues, but this is what I am. And that's why my focus is always there on the performances.
Thank you for a nice film. One question, you showed the Bollywood film world in a particular way. Is that the truth? Or is that...
Well, I would say that it's not absolutely a realistic film, but it has a kind of it is bordering on magic realism. I mean, the people are not exactly realistic, but they are real. That's the kind of thing. What you have seen, it has a layer of gloss on it, but more or less we are like this only. That's how we talk.
Full of laughter compared to what we've been seeing so far. Which is my question. Why is this film in this festival? The protagonists are both male, and ultimately the boy gets the girl. The boys get the girls. Where do you see this film fitting in a festival of women's films? If you'd like to elaborate a little bit on that.
Girl, the point is not the boy or the girl. The point is something else in the film.
That the end of the movie had a very commercial feel to it,
yes.
Where everyone is happy and everyone is accepted for what they are. So do you think there is this need for a movie to become a commercial success, where you have to make a glossy ending, where everything is happy, honky-dory, or it had a commercial feel towards the end? The topic was an offbeat topic, was different from the usual topics that we get, but the end was a very commercial end, or at least that was what I thought.
See, all my films, though I'm also known for very dark films, which I have written, but the films which I have directed always have some kind of hope at the end. It's not that I don't cross the darkness, but I can never end on darkness. That is how I see life. I just can't see, like, I want to be excited that I've come here, so I want to take back good memories. You know, it's just a way of looking at life. So I'm saying, yes, you're right, what you're saying, but that happiness is not commercial, because happiness is very, very much part of life. That is not commercial. The presentation can be. And I think that what you mean is the presentation, that why, I mean, this film can end. I mean, I would have ended this film when he says the truth and he walks away and titles roll. That's correct. But I want to reach out to people, because still people have this, after that what happened? You know? So I want to have a bigger reach. And have bigger reach does not, I mean, yes, I mean, everybody wants money, but money is not the only thing. If this is the audience and there is no more audience, then I think I'll be very unhappy. I want people to see this film.
So somewhere it has to have a very commercial appeal for.
Well, you call it commercial. See, if you will sit down and you will try and analyze what you're saying, you will not be able to figure out that what commercial means. It's something which you instinctively feel that has a more reach. And at that point of time, you take that decision. It is not something which is written somewhere that this is commercial. We keep talking about commercial and parallel cinema. Nobody knows actually what is the difference. We just say it. Something which has a mass appeal becomes commercial. So, I mean, it'll obviously get translated into a commercial money back. You know, but there is no other reason behind that. Still, we are making films. We are not doing commerce.
Excellent resume of script writing, acting, and now direction. In Hollywood, right, in the West, we see really good transition of really good commercial actors like Clint Eastwood, Mel Gibson, and Kevin Costner turning out to really great quality products, right? In Bollywood, we don't really see that, right? Amir is a really good example, and Rajat is suddenly there, right? But how come in Bollywood, most of these really good actors don't switch into a direction and start delivering a quality stuff? According to you, what could be the reason?
But I think that there is a tradition in Hollywood that, and it's an old tradition, that actors do direct films at some point of time. It is always there at the back of their mind. And also, like, I keep taking acting workshops in FTI and all. And my first thing is that you just can't be an actor. You know, you just can't say that I'm an actor and I do nothing else. So my workshop always begins with writing. Like, for example, I'm very bad with names, huh? One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, sorry. Yeah. You know, Jack Nicholson, before becoming an actor, when he was trying, he was also writing scripts. And he was writing scripts for himself. And there are many of them. So there is this wholesome personality building hota hai, in art, that you're not supposed to be doing just one thing. Like, I think that in theater, every actor can sing, can write, can design, can act, can direct. I mean, these things you should know. But हमारे यहाँ है ऐसा कम है, इस तरह का ट्रेडिशन नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी जो लोग करते हैं वो करते हैं. Like Kamal Hassan, he has been doing it since years. So we have lesser people, but we have.
I was reminded more of you and your writing in Satya than so much, than all your acting and humor. What do you think inspires a filmmaker most? Is it the characters? Is it the story? Or, I mean, in your case, as a filmmaker, and you're having gone almost full cycle, now what is it that you enjoy the most of this process?
It gets translated here. I have told stories because I wanted to talk. As a matter of fact, I became an actor because, one was drinking, that we used to drink a lot, and whole night I used to talk. And I used to take the center stage and talk and talk and talk, and that made me an actor. So, filmmaker mein bhi wahi chakkar hai ki bahut baatein karta hu main. Like to say here, see, independent cinema is very tough all over the world. Okay, so I will take this stage and I'll take this opportunity to announce it here that any of you or your friends or anybody can come up and become a part of this movement. Like everybody, like Ashok is here, I'm here, there are many filmmakers. We all keep looking for, and the most important thing to put a project is money. Okay, so if anybody is interested, please come forward and please support these films. Like I'm also planning. I'm planning a film for which I'm looking for investors. So if anybody can put in a word, please go ahead, please do that. I'll tell you my number, I'll tell you my email ID, or you can give me your email ID or numbers, and please be a part of this and support this. Then we will also make not so commercial endings.
That you acted in, and this is the first direction that I've seen by you, and it's very intelligently done. Like, you can tell that you're an actor, and you've utilized them very well. And I just have a request that you should use more of, like, because commercial directors today don't use people like Ranveer Suriman or Irfan Khan, and these people are very, very good actors, and you can tell. And you did a really good utilization of these actors, and I don't think, like, the roles that they play in Indian cinema today, they don't get to shine as much as they did in your movie today. So that's my request.
And yes, there are. It's not only us. It's not only me, Rajat, or Vinay, or Ranveer. There's a whole section of filmmakers which is trying to do that. We are also trying to cut down the costs of the film, so that we can have the freedom of taking good actors rather than taking selling actors. That is what we are trying to do, and that's how. Sorry. That's how the independent cinema is all about that. So we'll keep doing that. Help us.